We're back in Sicily this week, Carmela.
Oh, how I wish.
Oh, no, we really are. And we're also going to be talking about another wine that showed up in White Lotus.
Ooh.
Yeah, this time it's the white wine version of Mount Etna wine called Etna Bianco.
Now I know what you were actually studying when we were watching that show.
That's what I was studying. Oh. Now, if you're not a White Lotus fan, which you should be, but if you're not, what you should know is that this could be a great wine for people who like their whites zippy and full of minerality. So stick around and we'll tell you all about it, including the interesting history of winemaking in the area.
Oh, nice.
Hello, fellow wine wanderers, and welcome to the Wine Pair Podcast. I'm Joe, your sommelier of reasonably priced wine, and this is my wife and my wine pairing partner in crime, Carmela.
Hi there.
And we are the Wine Pair.
We sure are.
Now, if you're new to our podcast, here's what you can expect. If you love wine and you want to find great wines at affordable prices, and you want to expand your wine horizons, and you want to have some laughs and fun while doing it, then you are in the right place. Because each week we explore a different wine varietal or style or brand or region of the winemaking world and learn about what makes them worth knowing about. And then we taste 2 to 3 of those wines that are reasonably priced to let you know if they're worth your hard-earned money. So if that feels like your vibe, then Wine Wanderer, welcome to our tribe.
Nice.
And we are proud to say the Decanter magazine calls us fun, irreverent,
chatty,
and entertaining. Mm-hmm. But you know what? I might have to update that little thing, Carmela, because now we have a new review from Earworthy, who calls us a show that makes wine approachable, funny, and honest.
That is so cool.
Yeah. So,
what in the world?
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, what? Oh,
I know. We'll talk about that more in a little bit. But
okay.
I am also a little hesitant to tell you this, Carmela.
Oh, no.
Because you kind of made an allusion to this before we started recording.
Okay.
But this is officially our 200th regular-sized episode.
Oh, man.
Okay, you can hem and haw on what counts.
I'm not hawing.
Okay, and you can make, what counts as a full-sized episode, and we've certainly released more than 200 already because we have mini-sodes and stuff like that. But you know what? At some point, you just have to put like a stake in the ground and say, here we are.
Me?
All of us.
Oh.
So here we are.
Here we all are.
That's right.
You can't run.
No,
you cannot hide.
Nope.
That's how I feel every Friday.
She would like to hide
I thought
sometimes.
maybe you were going to say, and then you like something different, like enlightening about, how I get out of this.
No. Actually, what I was going to say is we made it to our 200th episode without killing each other. So that's pretty good.
I never thought that would occur. I mean, it hadn't dawned on me that.
Wow. I'm surprised, actually.
Have you been thinking about?
No, not a bit.
Getting me?
Nope, not a bit.
Maybe giving me the cane every once in a while. But
no, never. I would like to.
Really?
I'd like more song and dance from you.
Oh.
Now, Carmela, for this 200th episode, we're going to do part 2 of the topic that we started last week on wines from the Mount Etna wine region of Sicily.
Nice.
Now, last week we learned about and tasted Etna Rosso, and this week we're going to learn about, as we said in the introduction, the wine Etna Bianco. And as you may have guessed by now, and Carmela will help you with this, Etna Rosso is red wine because Rosso means
red.
That's right, in Italian, and Etna Bianco is white wine because Bianco means what?
White.
In Italiano.
See, what would you do without me?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, my goodness.
The grapes in Etna Bianco are not household names, but are becoming well known for making really nice, interesting, and complex wines. And the most important one of those, and the grape you need to know, is called Caricante.
Okay.
And we'll talk more about.
Never heard of it.
Well, I see. There you go. That's why we're talking about it, and we'll talk more about it in a bit and give you a sense of the grape and the wine it makes. But just really quickly, Caricante is kind of the star white wine grape from Mount Etna in Sicilia, and some say it's the perfect antidote to heavy white wines. It's called, as I mentioned in the intro, zippy, has a lot of acidity. It's also known for having a saline or seawater taste to it, and if you like Chablis, you might like this one.
Oh, love it.
But before we get to Etna Bianco and Caricante, we need to hear about the great name for our tribe that Clarice came up with this week. So without further ado, let's head over to our conversation with Clarice. Hello, Clarice, and welcome to the Wine Pair Podcast.
Hi, it's so great to be here.
Oh, we are so excited to have you, and we really want to thank you for reaching out and for giving us your great name for the tribe this week. But before we talk about that, I have some very important questions to ask you if you're ready.
Okay.
All right. The first question is, what is your favorite wine?
Well, I do like reds. Whites, I will drink white if someone pours it for me. I don't really like anything with bubbles in it. So in the winter, because I'm here in New England, in the winter, I like a good Cabernet Sauvignon, or lately I have like really been loving Malbecs. And in the summer, I like a good Pinot Noir or a Gamay. Or last year, I tried something called Chiava, and the Chiava was absolutely wonderful. It's very, very light, but it's good.
Awesome. I like it too. You have different, depending on the season, you have different preferences. That's great. And Schiava is one we'll have to add to the list for sure.
It's hard to find, but it's very good.
Okay, we're adding it. And we're going to see maybe if we can change your mind on bubbles too at some point. But no pressure. No pressure. Okay, Clarice, second question. When did you start listening to us and how did you find us?
I started listening to you guys probably around July-ish. I'm a political junkie, and I was just searching for a podcast that wasn't a political podcast. And I got onto my podcast thing that I use, and I just typed in wine podcasts. And you guys turned up, and I read that little blurb, and I liked the idea of the wines being affordable because I'm not a wine snob. I just like to drink good wine that's not going to break my bank.
Well, we're glad you found us and fully agree. Sometimes, wine is a good break from all of the news every once in a while, right?
It really is.
We need that.
Yes.
Okay, last question is, tell us the name you suggested and if there's any background or inspiration for where that came from.
Okay, so I listen to your podcast usually while I'm hiking in the woods with my dog because we go out almost weather permitting, we go out like every day. And I used to jokingly call myself the wine wanderer because I'm walking around in the woods. And then one day, Wine Wanderer popped into my head. And I was like, oh, maybe that's a good tribe name, the Wine Wanderers. And the reason was because, every time we look at a bottle, look at the label, uncork it, examine the aroma, swirl it around, we wonder if it will be good.
I love that. And actually, Wine Wanderer is a fantastic name. And Wine Wanderers is also a fantastic name because sometimes we want to, try something new, try something different. So I love that.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I love to listen. And, you're right. I think I'm traveling around trying to find new countries to drink their wine. So I guess I'm a wine wanderer too.
Yeah, we aspire to that as well. Thank you, Clarice. Thank you very much for being on and for sharing your name and for just supporting the podcast. We really appreciate it.
Well, I want to thank you guys for doing what you do because I know it's hard work and it's a labor of love. And I really appreciate it. And I try to listen every week. And I really want to commend you guys for what you do. As a last thing, if I could, I just want to give a little shout out to local wine shops.
Yes.
They're not always have the lowest price, but they are lending you their expertise, which is worth paying for.
I agree with you. Thanks for that. I agree. I think going to a local wine shop, getting to know the person there that owns it, that's a great way to expand your wine knowledge and wine horizons as well.
My adult children actually make a little fun of me because when I walk in the wine shop, the owner goes, "Hi, Clarice, how are you?"
That's when you know you've made it, when the wine shop owner knows you.
Or you have a problem.
That's right. Well, Clarice, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time to do this. And thanks for the support. Really means a lot. Thank you.
I'm thrilled that you do it. Thanks.
Thank you. We'll talk soon.
Carmela for me,
I will.
Okay?
I will definitely. Okay.
Right.
Bye-bye. Well, Clarice was just awesome, Carmela.
So sweet.
And she said to say hi to you.
That's really nice.
And,
Hello, Clarice.
and we had a lot of fun getting to know her. And as we mentioned last week, when she reached out, she actually went back all the way to July to list out the tribe names. And so...
That's incredible.
I know. And so we have those in our show notes for this. Do you know we have show notes?
I'm aware.
Okay. So if you go to this episode on our website, you can find that list from Clarice.
That is very cool.
Super cool.
That takes some time.
Yeah, she did the work for us.
I love it.
That was
Thank
really
you.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, thanks. And we really love doing these interviews and putting you guys on the show. So if you have an idea for a tribe name, no matter how good or bad you think it is, it's probably better than you think.
Of course.
Just send us a note at joe@thewinepairpodcast.com or send us a DM and we'll see if you want to join us. So no obligation. You're always in choice.
Of course.
But just send us the name and we'll ask you, do you want to be on the pod? And you can say yes.
You can just say no, too. Just say no.
Just say no. That's right.
It's no problem.
It's right.
I have a problem with no.
No means no, right? Now, Carmela, we need to talk about Caricante and Etna Bianco, but we're going to have to do that in a few minutes because I have to take you to some breaking news that's just coming in. Wine in the news this week. The wine in the news this week comes to us from Martin Green from Decanter magazine that we really love in his article called Vandals Target French Wine Estate as Protests Escalate.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and you can find links to this article and others on the subject in our show notes, which Carmela knows we have but has never actually seen.
Well, no, I'm sure I have at some point.
I don't actually
Anyway, we better not go down that
No,
road.
because we need to talk about this thing that's happening in France that's kind of serious. So most of us usually think of winemakers as peaceful farmers and artisans who are focused on their craft and their crops and the weather. But in the south of France, there's an underground group that's been operating and creating trouble for decades, and they just struck again.
Are they like throwing grapes around?
No, wait till you hear. It's bigger than that. So they go by the initials CAV, Comité d'Action Viticole, and they are
Just a pretty name.
I know.
I don't know what it means.
For people that vandalize, but they're essentially vigilante winemakers.
Oh, my.
So here's the story of what they did, if you're ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, in mid-December, this group launched a raid on Chateau La Buttignane in the Corbieres region. I'm doing it with like an Italian accent. It's terrible. This wasn't just random vandalism, though. It was a targeted strike. They broke into the winery at night. They used tires and planks to set the warehouse on fire.
Wow, that's crossing lines.
And then they cracked open the valves on massive fermentation tanks, releasing the wine that was being made. So this is serious stuff.
What was the point of this?
We're going to get to that, and that's going to be the question.
Okay.
But they completely drained 2 tanks of wine and partially emptied 2 others. And so that's like thousands of liters of wine. And before they ran away, they left their calling card spray painted on the walls, the letters CAV and the slogan Viti e colere, which means angry winemakers in French.
Are they the angry ones, or do they think the people that they were vandalizing are angry?
No, they're the angry ones. Here's why. The vandalism wasn't random. Chateau La Boutonniere is owned by Grand Chez de France, which is the second largest wine producer in the entire country. And to the local farmers, this company represents everything wrong with the industry. They represent mass production, corporate consolidation, and globalization. It drives down the price of grapes so low that these farmers have trouble making a living.
Oh, wow. That's tough.
Yeah, so these guys have actually been around for a while. They've been around since the 60s and 70s, and they've done different types of vandalism and some even more serious things, but they view themselves as a resistance movement fighting for the survival of the French farmer. They believe the government has abandoned them and big corporations are crushing them, so they use vandalism to get attention.
A little scare tactic.
Yeah, and just like that's their protest. So as of right now, the police have opened up an investigation and estimated the damage at around 130,000 euro. But these guys are hard to catch. They're local, so they blend in. There's a little, even people that in the villages, they're kind of silent about it. Even if they may not agree with all the tactics, they don't want to get anybody in trouble. So they are, but they're, these are angry folks. So here's the question, Carmela.
Okay.
It's obviously vandalism, but do you feel any sympathy for the CAV? Is it okay that they're doing some vandalism or not?
God, always being put on the spot here.
No.
I mean, look, my moral compass says, no, you should not vandalize. Like, that's just not the route to take ever, right?
Yeah.
Do I feel sorry for their situation? I mean, I think it's unfortunate. I do, but I don't think that you should choose that. This is getting to be like a big serious conversation.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know. I'm sorry this is turning serious. I mean, we say protest.
Right.
Protest.
Peaceful
Go walk
protest,
around, go out,
and
have
tell
your
people,
signs.
Yes, communicate. Communication is key.
It's our right as human beings.
I just don't think you should. You can't. I just don't think you can. But
that's my feeling. If it's going to violence, we've gone too far.
Right. What do you think of CAV? Like, do you feel sorry for them?
I mean, I understand their plight and I understand their frustration, but I don't think violence or vandalism is the way to go. Yeah. But you know what, Carmela, it's very,
neither here nor there when it comes to what we're doing tonight.
That's true. That's true. But we are, again, thanks for calling it out as a little serious turn.
Yeah.
But sometimes when things are a little bit serious in the ether, it's okay to admit it.
Of course,
it's okay to admit
you can
that something's
face
going on.
a challenge,
That's right.
Whatever that might be.
That's right. People are frustrated, whether they're farmers or winemakers or other people
Or
out
wives.
there. Yeah, they may just want to protest what's going on, like doing a podcast. I don't know.
No. But I mean, really, that's unfortunate.
It is. But you know what, Carmela? I think we should get back to the subject at hand.
Let's.
I think we should talk about Etna Bianco, which is, again, the up-and-coming white wine from the island of Sicily that's starting to get some real attention from wine professionales. And we have 2 Etna Bianco vinos to taste
Woo!
and review to see if they should be added to your wine list. But first,
You got to do our shameless plug.
that's right. So thank you for listening to us and supporting our show. And remember, we buy all of the wine that we have on our show ourselves so that we can give you real and honest reviews. And then we do all the writing and recording and editing to bring you a show every week because we love to do it. And all we ask for in return is that you follow or subscribe to our podcast and also leave us a really nice 5-star rating and review so that we can grow listeners. And a huge thank you to those of you who have done so already. You can also follow us on Instagram at The Wine Pair Podcast and on Blue Sky, and you can contact us on our website, thewinepairpodcast.com, and you can sign up for our email newsletter there, which you just missed. But if you really want it, you can always email me at joe@thewinepairpodcast.com, and I will hand deliver it into your email inbox. And you can also visit our shop wine section there where you can find links to buy the wines that we rate as buys in each episode. And we want to make content that you care about and you like, so send us a note or DM us and give us some feedback or let us know if there's wines you want us to try or winemaking areas of the world that you're curious about, and we will take care of it. And a few shout outs. First, as we mentioned, a big shout out to Earworthy and Frank Raccioppi. Put us on his list of the best independent podcasts of 2026. And we are, of course, listed in the food and wine category. And the link to it you can find in our show notes. And then Timmy sent us an idea. He's always full of ideas, Timmy.
He is the idea man.
He is. That I'm going to run it by the tribe because he brought it up and he's brought up good ideas. So he suggested that maybe listeners would want to send us bottles of their wine, like wine from their cellars, and have us rate and review them on the show, like actually do that as an episode. So,
What?
we're just opening it up. We're open. We want to be open-minded.
You'd
So
have to package them like a professional.
You'd
though.
have to get them to us. But you know what? We're open to it. And
My
then we'll let you
goodness.
know if we think that they're good or not.
Look, we don't need a whole lot of new wine deliveries.
That's true. That's true.
We know the delivery guy. Like, the guy knows us.
But Carmela, we want to create content that our listeners care about.
True.
So if they care about it, great. If they don't, it's fine.
One time we might have to invite the delivery guy in because he's wondering what
Like,
are we doing?
you guys
with
have
all
a
this
real
wine?"
problem. Okay. And as we do every week, we'll tell you someone we think you should recommend the Wine Pair podcast to, because the best way for us to grow listeners is when you tell your family and friends about us. And this week, we want you to recommend us to anyone looking for a new white wine and anyone who's a White Lotus lover, because they may really be interested in learning more about this wine from the foothills of Mount Etna.
Love it.
All right, Carmela, let's get on with part 2 of our Mount Etna wine series for the second leg of our Italian wine adventure and find out just what the Etna
My
Bianco
goodness,
is. Yeah.
Such a lot there.
We mentioned this last week, but winemaking on the island of Sicily and around Mount Etna goes back thousands of years. But what we didn't mention last week is that the industry nearly vanished in the late 19th century when the phylloxera plague destroyed 80% of the vines, followed by further abandonment after World War II because many of the workers left the area for better opportunities and because winemaking on the side of a mountain is not very easy. Mm-hmm. So now for a bit of history.
Last time I tried, anyway.
Yeah, you guys can put this in your brain box because many people may not know this, but we know many Italians immigrated to North and South America before World War II. But after World War II, many moved to more industrialized areas of northern Italy where they could get steady jobs and regular paychecks. So, for some, that was an easier transition than leaving a country altogether and learning a new language and all that stuff. But what it meant for areas in southern Italy was both a brain drain and a back drain. By that, what we mean is that many of the people who knew how to farm the land left, and many of the workers who could cultivate the difficult winemaking area left too. And again, growing grapes around Mount Etna is not easy because it takes place on steep mountainsides and it has to be done by hand. When there was this migration to the north of Italy, there just weren't enough people to do the work, and many of the vineyards basically fell into disarray. Now, another thing that happened, a little bit more history, was that the need for cheaper bulk wine that came from places like Sicily also kind of petered out. So wines from the south of Italy were not of great quality during the, like most of the 20th century. And so they were used as blending grapes to add some alcohol and power to wines in Italy and France. But as winemaking techniques got better, the market also kind of bottomed out for this bulk wine. And so the farmers were left to turn to crops where they could actually make some money. And then one further item that put just another nail in that coffin was that regulations changed. So traditional winemaking in the area of Mount Etna relied on gravity-fed lava stone wineries called palmenti. But in the 1990s, the EU said, you can't do that anymore. They banned the commercial use of this type of winemaking because they didn't think it was hygienic. So they forced many farmers to modernize, and a lot of farmers were like, I can't afford to do that. I'm not going to make enough money doing it. So they either stopped making wine and grew other crops, or they just sold their land. So here's a perspective for you, just to we're very serious in this episode. I don't know what's going on.
I feel like you're storytelling too. It's like I'm just like
you're just
listening.
mesmerized by it, aren't you? No,
yeah.
but in the early 20th century, there was nearly 250,000 acres of grape growing land in Sicily. By the end of the 20th century, there was less than 10,000. So 97% decrease.
That's too bad.
So that's like it almost went away.
Wow.
But thankfully, Carmela,
it didn't.
No, you're right. Winemakers, many of them from outside of Sicily, came to the area to revive the industry. And in a short span of about 30 years, they've made a massive turnaround. And it started with a focus on indigenous grapes like Eradicated, which again is the main grape in Etna Bianco that we mentioned earlier, and then Nero Mascalese, which was the main grape in Etna Rosso that we talked about last week.
Right.
And also experimentation and planning and science and all that groovy stuff. Now, one really interesting thing I learned in researching for this episode is that some of the success for the rebound in the area was precisely related to the region being abandoned for so long. Here's why. Nobody replanted the vineyards, and new producers who came into the area found that they could buy these neglected plots of land for pennies. And a lot of times these lands still had 80 to 100-year-old vines that were pre-phylloxera plague. And so they had all these ancient vines that they could buy really cheap. And these vines, older vines tend to make more concentrated or more complex grapes and wines. So they had the basics of great winemaking for a fraction of what they would normally have to pay. But Carmela, you know what? That's a lot of history. And she's agreeing with me. You can't see it. She's nodding her head.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Great job.
But let's talk a little bit more about what Etna Bianco wine is exactly. So, like most of Italy, the DOC regulations, that's the official designation of that's guaranteed. The regulations are fairly strict. Etna Bianco must be from the Etna Bianco DOC. So it has to be from the area on Mount Etna. And the wine must be at least 60% Eradicated. The remaining 40% can be Catarratto, so that's another important grape, with up to 15% of other non-aromatic grapes like Minella Bianca or Trebbiano. And the grapes can be sourced from anywhere around the slopes of the volcano. Now, there is a version called Etna Bianco Superiore, and in that one, at least 80% of the wine must be Eradicated, and the grapes have to be grown exclusively within the commune of Milo on the eastern slope.
Wow.
So that's the Superiore is like
top notch
and special and kind of more rare.
Okay.
So there you go. And then this grape is not often found outside of Mount Etna.
Had you ever heard of it before this?
Yeah, I mean, I've had it before a long time ago. I've had it before.
With who?
Some lady.
Woo!
No, I actually think you have had it too.
Oh.
I know I showed it to your dad one time.
Had he had it?
No, I don't think so. Because it's not super it's starting to be more and more well known.
Right.
But the thing is that this is a grape that is really suited for the area. So it's very, there's a little bit in Sonoma, there's a little bit in Australia, but it's very particular. It's really it's an indigenous grape that was made to grow in this area.
I mean, and if you want to be in that area, you might as well just put some parameters around where you're going to grow. I mean, you're like, I want to stay in Sicily. Don't bring me to California.
Yeah, I don't want to immigrate.
No.
I like where I am.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. It knows where it wants to be.
Some integrity.
It's got roots.
Oh.
Literally and figuratively. But you know what, Carmela? Let's learn about the specific wines that we're going to drink this week. What do you say?
Let's do it.
And not just this week, but today.
Okay.
Like in the next couple of minutes.
Love it.
Okay, as usual, the wines we have chosen for this episode are under $25 each, and they should be relatively easy to find because I bought them both at wine.com.
Mm-hmm.
And now, Etna Bianco is going to be something you got to kind of search around for a bit, but if you go to a store with a good wine selection, particularly a good Italian wine selection, you should not have any trouble finding it. And as always, like Clarice says, ask your local wine merchant, go to your local wine merchant and see if they can help you, and they will be happy to do so.
Yes.
Now, the first wine we're going to drink is the 2023 Murgo Etna Bianco, and this wine is made from 70% Caricante and 30% Catarratto Bianco. And the wine got a number of good reviews, including a 91 from Wine Spectator, a 90 from Vinous, and you're not going to believe this, a 90 from James Suckling.
Mind blown.
Mind blown. The grapes from this wine are sustainably farmed, which is nice, and they're hand harvested, as most of these grapes are going to be. They macerate the wines for 4 hours, only 4 hours after crush. And remember, macerate means they keep the juice in contact with the skins and other fun grape stuff for a period of time to extract some color and some flavor. And then they ferment and age in stainless steel, and the wine is aged for 6 months before being sold. Now, the winemakers for this wine, it's kind of interesting little side story. I'm telling you a lot of stories today, is the Scamacca del Murgo family, and they've been farming around Mount Etna for a long time. And for more than 100 years, they cared for olive oil and fruit trees in the area. They made olive oil, and they maintained Etna's native grapes. But it wasn't until 1980 when they modernized the farm. So they were one of those that decided they would modernize. And in 1982, they bottled their first Etna Rosso. And then in 1990, they bottled their first Etna Bianco and a sparkling Etna Bianco.
Oh,
so
nice.
Yeah, really nice. Now, the second wine we're going to taste and review is the 2024 Nicosia Etna Bianco Lenza di Munti. And if the name Nicosia sounds familiar, that's because we also tasted and reviewed their Etna Rosso last week, and good news, we liked it. And if you want to learn more about that, just go to the previous episodes right there on your podcast app. You can just figure that out. This wine's blend is a little heavier in Caricante. It's 80% of the wine, and 20% is Catarratto. And this winery says they use certified eco-friendly practices. I don't know what that means exactly, eco-friendly, but they do say it. So they ferment the wine in stainless steel for 20 to 25 days, which is kind of long for a white wine. They also say they use cryo maceration.
Never heard this either.
That I had to look it up too.
Cryo
It's not
maceration.
crying. It's not crying.
You don't have to cry while you're macerating it? You know, you gotta cut that out.
No, that's staying right.
No, Joe.
Some people cry when they macerate. It's true. Okay.
No.
Cryomaceration is another name for cold maceration.
You better start that over because you can't be laughing.
Sorry, right. This is serious. Cryomaceration is another name for cold maceration, and it's a winemaking technique where crushed grapes are rapidly cooled to near freezing temperatures during the start of fermentation to enhance the extraction of color and flavor and aromas from the skins while limiting bitter tannins. And evidently, freezing the grapes leads to a richer, more aromatic and smoother wine. So we're going to find out. We'll see if we can tell.
Okay.
Now, here's the funny thing. The text sheet was clearly from an Italian because they said they did it for 24 hours days.
Oh.
24 hours days, which I'm assuming just means they did it for 24 hours, because longer than that would be a real long time. They also said they age the wine in stainless steel tanks, and then they bottle and age for 4 months before releasing the wine. They use vegan fining agents as part of the fining and filtering process for how they get the sediments out of the wine. So if that's important to you, then this is a good wine. This is a good choice. But I think that's enough information. Carmela's given me a look. Let's get to drinking. And if you have an Etna Bianco or an Italian white wine, anything, a Caricante, whatever you got, just drink along with us and see if you agree with our notes. And we'll be right back. Okay, we're back and we're ready to try our first wine. This is the Murgo Etna Bianco from Sicily, Italy. It's a 2023 vintage. It was $19.97 at wine.com, 12.5% alcohol. As we mentioned, 70% Caricante and 30% Catarratto Bianco. And professional ratings, again, 91 from Wine Spectator and a 90 from Vinius. And of course, again, a 90 from James Suckling. And Vivino gave it a 3.7. But Carmela, what is the color of this wine?
I wouldn't say it's terribly light. I think it's got it's almost like corn or straw.
You think it's pretty yellow?
I do. I mean, it's not dark yellow, but it's darker than I actually expected.
I was thinking straw.
Yeah.
It's straw, kind of golden straw.
Yeah, I think so. I like it. It's pretty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, what are you smelling?
Well, at first whiff, I was getting... I mean, it's sweet. It's like kind of pineapple-y, almost like pineapple candy,
It does have some tropical fruit. Mm-hmm. I was getting apple, and I'm getting.
Wow.
I know it's because we read it, but salt water.
Oh, okay.
Almost like a little bit of seashell.
Yeah, I feel like it's sweeter than that. I am getting a little bit of that saline, but I'm feeling like it's kind of like a lemon head too.
Lemony.
Yeah. Like
citrusy.
Yeah, but almost like a little bit candy.
You're getting a lot of sweetness in it.
More than you, for sure, huh?
Yeah, well, I'm thinking like, those, what are they, those Perugia, those candies, like the lemon
and the
Italian
orange.
candies,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But I'm getting I am getting tropical fruit, maybe a little orange, but I feel like I'm getting a little bit of apple or pear on it as well.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, it's really nice smelling.
It's nice.
Yeah,
yeah.
Very nice.
And it's super cold. We did not take it out of the fridge soon enough, but it's okay. So it's super cold. So some of the smells and tastes will probably be tamped down a little bit, which is surprising because there's a lot here. But let's taste it and see what we think.
Okay.
It's nice.
It is nice, and it is zippy.
It's lemony.
Very lemony.
Very lemony.
I agree. And it actually, I just kind of like how that the smell, the bouquet, is got that lovely sweetness behind it. But this is more like, would be a great food wine.
Yeah.
Like it's very balanced. I like that though, when you kind of get the nice, it's almost like florally because they're so intense, the smells. But this is a nice, very acidic wine.
Yeah, it is. It is zippy. Somebody described it as electric. It does seem sort of electric, like it's kind of a lively wine. Mm-hmm. And it will go great. So we'll talk about food in a minute, but it's also, there's a lot. Like it's a bold kind of wine. Like it's not a thin wine. It's kind of got some body to it. Mm-hmm. And it's very, it cleans off the tongue, but it does fill your mouth as well.
It's a really nice wine.
It's really nice.
Yeah, I really think that it is versatile, and I think that it could be dangerous. Mm-hmm. Because it smells nice and it's easy drinking. It's kind of refreshing.
Totally refreshing.
Definitely like has a summer vibe to it too.
Kind of lemonade-y.
Yeah.
A little bit of lemonade, and there's a little tiny bit of bitterness on the end.
And there's almost like a margarita, because of that little bit of saltiness that you get.
You're right. Like almost like a margarita with a little, yes, I like that. You know what? That's a really good call. I like, because there is a little salt or seashell on the end of it.
A little bit, yeah. Mm-hmm. That keeps it from being too sweet.
Yeah, for sure. So what food would you have with this?
I think this would be a great seafood wine. And I think like you could do like shrimp scampi. You could do pasta with shrimp. I think any shellfish, I think it could stand up to even like if you're in Hawaii. I know we're not talking Hawaii, but I'm thinking of mahi-mahi.
Yeah.
Kind of a meaty.
A poke bowl.
Poke bowl would be so good.
Because that sesame kind of spiciness and sesame would be really good with it.
And fish and chips. Like, I think you could have this with I feel like it's a fish wine. Yeah. That's what's screaming at me. But
sushi, I'm thinking like sushi.
Sushi would be nice.
Because I think it could, like with that...
wasabi?
With wasabi, a little spiciness, it actually would be really nice. It'd be really good with, because it's got some body, is more of the like rolls or...
Nigiri,
with the rice. Like I think the rice kind of would help a little bit.
It would be really, really nice.
Yeah.
Good wine, honey.
I agree. I do think you could do like chicken and white meat and those kinds of things as well, but it really is a fish.
Yeah. I think just nice because that wine is what I prefer.
Like a bowl of clams. Oh, it'd be really good.
Good. Yeah.
You wouldn't need to put the lemon on it because it's so lemony already.
No, you really don't. You almost would want it more of like a buttery, sauce on your clams.
Yeah, so hot take. Carmela's family has cabins right on the water on Vashon Island in Seattle, and it's right on, it's seawater, And this is a perfect summer wine
my
for like
gosh.
eating al fresco, eating outside, some
Right.
seafood with this wine. Perfect.
It'd be so good. And we have an oyster farm too.
It's really true.
I'm not an oyster eater typically, but if you give me a fried oyster, any day.
Ooh, I won't even eat that.
Really?
Nope.
Oh,
not a bit.
sometimes my brother will fry
Yeah,
an
remember?
oyster.
And I didn't eat it. I was like, ugh.
Oh, it's good. It's good. But no, but I think everybody in our family would enjoy this.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Feast of the Seven Fishes, like perfect, like
Down.
great fish wine. Okay, we're gonna rate this wine. So as a reminder, on a rating scale, we rate on a scale of 1 to 10. We don't give half points. 7 and above means we would buy it, and 4 or below means we're gonna pour it down the sink, and a 5 or 6 means, hey, we'll drink it, we'll finish it. Thank you for serving it to us, but we're not gonna buy it. So Carmela, what rating are you gonna give this wine?
This is tough. I mean, definitely an 8. Definitely. I mean, I'm going to see how the other one goes, but a solid 8.
No, okay, I'm an 8 too.
Okay.
I wrote down an 8 before you even said 8. Because I think it's an 8 as well.
Yeah.
I really like it. It's great wine. It's super tasty. It's right up our alley. And it's just nice. Nice
great wine.
And dangerous. Okay, we're going to take a break. We're going to try our second wine.
Okay.
Okay, we are back and we're ready to try our second wine. This is the Nicosia Etna Bianco Lenza di Munti, also from Sicily, Italy. This is the 2024 vintage. It's $23.97 at wine.com. Again, 12.5% alcohol, 80% Caricante, 20% Catarato. And James Suckling gave this a 95.
James digs this.
I know. And
Has he ever given a 95?
I don't know. And Vinius gave it a 90. And again, Vivino only gave it a 3.7. Sometimes those quacks, I don't think they know what's going on. But Carmela, let's talk about the color.
It's a lighter. Well, see, again, I have less in my glass than you, but I think overall it's a lighter, crispier looking wine. Funny enough, the other one looked darker than this.
Definitely.
But it had a lot going on, a lot of body, but it didn't really match the color, I don't think, for some reason.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
I don't know. It just seemed like the color looked richer.
Heavier?
Yeah, and heavier. And that wine didn't strike me as like a rich wine.
I don't
know. I guess this is how you categorize rich. Maybe I'm thinking of heavy. I think
heavy.
you're
It
right,
wasn't heavy.
It wasn't heavy at
But it
all.
had like I think it had a medium mouthfeel. I think it was pretty, like, it was
I don't know.
bold. It was kind of a bold wine.
Right. Okay. But this is lighter to me. What do you think?
Yeah, lighter, almost like apple juice looking, that kind
Even
of color.
lighter. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it's champagne-y kind of colored. Yeah. All right. What are you smelling?
Well, let's see. I think I can get some pear. I'm getting some pear. It's a nice smelling wine.
Again, these are really, really cold, so I don't think we're quite getting as much of the smell on them. But the first smell I started getting was a little peach, actually, like almost. They talk. I don't even know what the hell a white peach is, but I feel like a light peach.
Okay.
And maybe not as much. Maybe a little pineapple on it, but not as much tropical fruit. Maybe. Or do you think I'm totally off on that?
No, I think so. There's something I'm not quite, almost something kind of caramely to me, or caramelized for some reason on this. Like almost like when you have like an apple or a pear, not like a pie, but like a tart or something. And you might put brown sugar on the top and then you would torch it a little bit, kind of caramelize it. So it's kind of like a pear, like a caramelized pear maybe.
I like that.
I don't know.
Totally. There is something kind of, sugared on it. I almost got Bananas Foster.
Okay, yeah. Something like that. Something with that, a little bit of caramelized, but Bananas Foster.
Yeah, I was thinking banana, but then when you started talking about the caramelized, I'm like, oh, Bananas Foster, maybe with a little ice cream and really good.
Oh my, ice cream and wine.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not together, but we should try it.
We are.
Yeah.
We're going to do the sherry in a couple weeks
okay.
just for Lindsay. We're just going to do it.
I'm down. I'm so down.
And I'm getting maybe a little bit of saline on it, but not as much as we had on the previous wine.
Yeah.
It's nice, though. It smells really nice.
Really,
and it's very
both of these
pleasant.
have been really lovely smelling wines.
For sure. Well, let's taste it and see what we think.
Okay.
Yeah, these wines are super cold. It is super lemony.
Zippy again.
Super zippy, really lemony.
Yeah.
This one is more like a lemon drop to me. Actually, on the end, its bitterness is giving me like almost an unsweetened lemonade. Almost like, when you put lemon in water, like you put the lemon slice in water.
I totally agree.
And sometimes you get those ones where there's just tons of, like they have those little decanters. And
This is
they're
a
like,
nice wine.
It's a nice wine, but they have a ton of lemons in them.
Right. And it gives that little bit of, because you can kind of taste it on your tongue afterwards. Like
And a
it's
little bit of that
sticky.
pith, yeah.
Yeah. I think these are nice wines. These are really probably more up my alley than yours.
This one for sure. This is really light. This almost reminds me a little bit more of like a Pinot Grigio or something. Mm-hmm. This is electric. Like this one almost dances on your tongue, but it's not. And I think part of that is because it's a thinner wine. Like it's got a lighter mouthfeel.
Again, dangerous.
Yeah.
You could just be like after a nice workout, like suck it down.
No, this has got a Gatorade-y kind of lemon Gatorade kind of taste to it. Like
if you want a light wine, if you're just like not like into the big, bold, like heavy wines, these are great choices.
This one especially is really like
and
nice,
especially if
fresh.
you're trying to taste the food, like you really are trying, you're not trying to have a wine that's going to overpower anything. I just think this is going to cleanse the palate. Going to be really nice, just a great compliment to lots of different meals.
And these are great, Sicily hot, whatever. This is a great outdoor party wine, little charcuterie or something. Really,
I do feel like it's screaming summer again.
Yeah, and like good with cheese. This would be really good with like cheeses and stuff.
Yes.
Should we go to what we would eat with it?
I think we're already there.
Well, let's talk about it then.
I think a lot of the same things. I think they're pretty similar wines. The other one I think had a little bit of a bigger mouth feel, a little fuller, a little rounder, something like that. But I think that they would, a lot of the same stuff. This would maybe suit itself even better with like spicy or fried stuff.
That was my feeling is like spicy or fried foods, especially spicy foods like Indian food. Ooh. Really good with Indian food.
Oh, yeah. Or fried calamari.
Ooh, real good with a little spicy sauce on it.
Sauce, yeah.
Really good.
Yep. And the cheese board would be so great. Like this would be an amazing, like if you're just having a happy hour with somebody.
Girl dinner.
Do you guys know girl dinner? I'm sure
everybody knows
do.
Girl dinner.
I know. Those are the best.
Sometimes
right?
Carmela and I just have girl dinner.
Yeah, me and my girl.
God, you're going to make me cry.
Wow.
Anyway, okay.
No, this would be really nice. This could be something you just hadn't, like if you're having appetizers or antipasti.
Yeah, and this one to me, I always like to talk about spaghetti and clams because it's like my favorite seafood dish. This would be so good with it.
It would be.
Yeah, it would be really nice. No, it'd be
or anything with shrimp because that's my favorite.
Yeah, but also like butter sauces. Like if you had something with a butter sauce, like
or like a ravioli with sage.
Ooh,
it'd be so good.
Or a mushroom ravioli.
It'd be so delicious.
Or a pumpkin ravioli with a little cream sauce.
Who doesn't love ravioli?
Cream sauces, Alfredo,
with
like
Etna Bianco.
It would be really good with cream sauces and pasta.
It would be so good.
Really good.
And like a white pizza.
Mac and cheese.
You could have, cereal. You could have...
No, I draw the line. I draw the line at cereal, Carmela.
You could have this. Yeah, actually, milk would not.
No, it would be really bad. It would curdle.
This is something you could eat with just about anything.
I agree, but not a steak. I wouldn't do it with a steak.
Well, okay.
Actually, white meat, though, like chicken, something would be great with this wine, too.
Yeah.
Okay, I almost punched myself. I don't know, I was knocked.
He got so excited, the microphone jumped out of him.
Punched myself in the face. Okay, what rating are you giving this wine?
This is really tough. I mean, again, it's a solid 8. I mean, funny enough, I might be underrating these for my life.
Well, you go back if you want to.
Or my taste.
Go back if you want to. What do you... Final call, Carmela.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to give them both 9s.
Okay, I love it.
I just feel like I don't see anything super wrong with them.
I love it. I'm going to stick with an 8 on the first one. This one, I'm going to go with a 7. I like it a lot. But there was something about, and maybe it's just because I'm comparing the two, but there was something about the first one, a little bit more body on it, a little bit more complexity that I liked. But I like them both. I'm buying both of these wines. Like, don't fool yourself.
If you're Italian, not that you have to be Italian, but it's a great, like Sicily is somewhere that everybody's sort of into and wants to visit.
Yeah, especially... White Lotus.
My God, back to the White Lotus.
Yes.
That was a couple seasons ago.
I know, it was.
It stuck with you, huh?
It did. It did for lots of good and bad reasons. Now, here's a tough one because you gave them both a 9. So which of these two are you going to finish tonight?
Boy, that is tough. You know what? I think I would go with the first one.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
just because It was the first one, I don't know.
You always go with your first one.
Right.
Oof, your first husband, for instance.
True.
Okay, Carmela, let's talk about the taste profiles expected from Etna Bianco. In general, you get aromas of fresh citrus like lemon, lime, and grapefruit. Grapefruit's good. Green apple, white flowers, herbs like anise or mint. Steely, crisp, mouth-watering finish on the palate. I agree with that. Now, when they age, they can develop complexity like honey, almond, beeswax, and smoky flint. And we were getting kind of flint, but I think honey, you were getting some of that sweetness.
I was getting sweetness. I didn't call out honey, but that would make sense.
I could see as it aged, like especially that second wine, as it aged, you could see some of those flavors come out. Okay, James Suckling said about the Murgo showing lemons, chalk, and broom flowers.
Chalk is interesting.
And broom flowers. Light-bodied. I didn't think it was light-bodied.
No, I didn't either.
Silky texture, slightly leaner finish. Leaner than what? Lacks a bit of concentration. Okay, he's an idiot. All right, Jeb Dunnick.
No, he's got his opinion.
He does. A youthful white pepper spice with lemon lime zest, white flowers, crushed stones, and melon. Medium bodied. I agree with you, Jeb. Refreshing with bright acidity and a clean, stony, textured finish. I agree with that. But they weren't getting like pineapple or that. I mean, we were getting a lot of lemon on the flavor.
So much lemon on both of them. The pineapple was, really was showing through in the smell.
The smell of the first one.
They both had which like I said, I really enjoyed. Like, I'd like to have some sort of sweetness on the smell. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just to have a little bit of flavor before you dig in.
I agree with you. Okay, for the Nicosia, the winery says on the nose an intense bouquet of notes with wildflowers, grapefruit, and apple. We're getting a little apple. Grapefruit, not so much, but we did get citrus. The palate is fresh, elegant, and well-structured with great minerality. James Sucky said, extremely perfumed and fresh with sliced apple, lemon, lemongrass, and lime aromas and flavors that follow through to a medium body with bright acidity and a tangy finish. See, I think this one was lighter bodied.
Yeah.
So I almost feel like he flipped him around, but we were getting a lot of lemon. I like lemongrass. Lime is pretty good. Bright acidity, yes. Really mineral, vibrant. I agree. I think it had a lot of minerality. I think it is vibrant. I would say zippy. I would almost say electric. So,
I like both of those, Joe.
yeah. Okay, Carmela, what is the verdict on Etna
I'm sold.
Bianco?
I'm sold.
Yeah.
I would definitely have this lots of times.
Lots.
Well,
I'd have it lots.
I was going to say every day, but then I was like, then people are going to wonder, does she drink every day? And I don't.
She doesn't drink every day. Trust me, people. I know. I live with her.
Yeah, but this is good.
All right, Carmela, here's some wines coming up in future episodes in case yous at home want to drinks along with us. So we're going to do Maomi wines. If you dare, you can look in our show notes for the specific ones. But next week, we're doing their California Cab Sauv and their California Pinot Noir, their 2022 Cab Sauv and 2023 California Pinot Noir. And then we're going to do, in a future episode, we'll do Valpolicella Ripasso, White Bordeaux, some Lebanese wines, German Riesling, and we're also going to be doing sherry. So I need to put that in the show notes as well so you know which ones we have. But with that, Carmela, it's time for us to go. But before we do, we want to thank you very much for listening to us. And if you haven't done so yet, now would be the perfect time to follow or subscribe to our podcast, and also an awesome time to leave us a nice 5-star rating review on our website or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. And thank you to everybody who's done that. We also love to hear from you. We always respond. Tell us about a wine you want us to taste and review, or a wine region you're curious about or just want us to cover. Leave a message for us on our website, thewinepairpodcast.com. Email me at joe@thewinepairpodcast.com, or slip into our DMs and just give us some feedback. We love to hear from you. But with that, we're going to sign off. Thank you once again. We'll see you next time. And as we like to say, life is short, so stop drinking shitty wine. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And the happy ending.